Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Well, good evening and welcome to Fern Creek High School, Louisville, Kentucky, the Great American Rivalry Series. Gary Ball with the coach, lead the force. Great to be beside you again, coaches. We have a great high school basketball game here tonight. It is Fern Creek and JTown, and you can throw out the records when these two teams meet on the hardwood.
Yeah, anytime you have a district matchup, both these teams know each other so well. And starting with Fern Creek, starting with JTown, you have Bellamy, the best shooter on the team, and they really have a 1-2 punch in their two guards. You have Bellamy, who's a great shooter at 45%, and then you have Cunningham, who's almost the opposite. He's an aggressive penetrator driver, likes to get to the rim. So it's going to be interesting to see what Fern Creek does to combat these two guards.
And, Coach, you know they're in close proximity, so you know they're familiar with each other. So you can bet that these JTown kids and these Fern Creek kids have met on the playgrounds out here in the area. So tell us about that, if that's a factor in this game at all.
It's definitely a factor. If you saw in warm-ups, both the kids are kind of talking to each other as they're getting loose. So, factor in the fact they both know each other's games so well because they play, like you said. So there's a little bit more street cred in the game here.
Yeah.
So it's more than just a district game. It's more than just a basketball game. They're going to be playing for a lot of pride and for their school.
I like how you said that, street cred, because when they're out on the playground, there's a lot of credibility. Let's talk about Fern Creek. A lot of coaches feel that they're not only a very good team, they feel like they're a ranked team. Most polls, the Cantrell, the Herald Leader, and the Lincoln House, the Louisville paper, have them in the top 20 in the state, and there's a reason for that.
There is. They're a very talented team. You can tell by their schedule. I mean, if you just pick out these schedules and looked at them without knowing the teams, without knowing it's a district matchup, on paper, Fern Creek probably has the advantage just looking at the teams they competed with, the teams that they played with. But again, talking about a district matchup and a rivalry that we have here, that's not going to make a difference. If you talk about the players, I want to take a look at Tony Washington tonight. I want to see who he's going to be defending, but he's their leading scorer, and he's a great shooter. We're going to be talking about shooting a lot, I feel like, in this game, Gary. But he's their best shooter, and then you also have a sophomore, Ahmad Price, who he's probably their second leading scorer, but I like what he does defensively and rebounding for him. He's not just a scorer. He makes a lot of different plays for them.
You don't have Anthony Wells tonight if you're Fern Creek, one of your leading scorers. He's out with an injury. You don't have Hill. He transferred. So does that factor in if they start to learn how to feel the game of basketball playing together without those two guys?
It does, and at this point in the year, I think early on in the year that would have had a much bigger impact, I think, than now. I think the coaches and the team know each other, and they're going to have next man up. You have to have that mentality late in the year. You expect sometimes injuries happen, and good teams, especially ranked teams like Fern Creek, next man up.
24th district battle, so they know that going in, that it's a district game. There's 6 region foes, these two teams, so there's a lot of familiarity when you play in the same district and the same region.
Yeah, and that's what, we talked about it. You watch these teams, they played a lot of Christmas tournaments. They played in some great tournaments, Fern Creek did. But in district games, both teams have probably seen each other play 3 or 4 times. And now with video, you can watch the team over and over. So there's going to be so much familiarity. It's going to be about who steps up. It's going to be, we're talking about the best players. We know who the best players are. Both those teams know who the best players are. They're going to try to take the best players out, and it's going to be about who steps up for the teams, able to step into those roles for scoring.
And you mentioned that schedule that Fern Creek has played. The Bank, of course, the LIT just here recently, they knocked off a good Central team. So this is a very battle-tested. They played in the King of the Bluegrass. So a very battle-tested Fern Creek team, probably more so than JTown. No disrespect to JTown.
No disrespect, and this is a home game for Fern Creek. And a big thing in district play, you've got to defend your home court. So I expect Fern Creek to come out aggressive. JTown's going to have to handle that. And if they're able to get shots for their shooters, it's going to be a competitive game. I mean, it's anybody's game, obviously being a district game, but you expect Fern Creek to come out knowing their resume and knowing they're at home to come out and defend that game.
And Fern Creek had a great basketball team a year in the past, a great history. But look at this JTown team. Talk about great basketball history. They won the state championship in 2006.
I mean, that's what's so exciting. That's why this is all part of the Great American Rivalry Series. You have two fantastic teams with a great program and tradition, and they're playing in a district game. I mean, it couldn't get any better if you're a basketball fan.
He's Lee DeForest. I'm Gary Ball. We will come back with the starting lineups and the tip. It is Fern Creek and JTown here, part of the Great American Rivalry Series. We'll return after this message.
That's good.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to Fern Creek High School here tonight in Louisville, Kentucky for the Great American Rivalry Series. Gary Ball with Coach Lee DeForest. William Moorfield, our producer here on the Great American Rivalry Series. The public address announcer has given you the starting lineups, and we'll give the starting lineups as well, what they were given to us, Coach DeForest, from both coaches. Let's start with the Chargers of JTown, coached by McQuell Coleman. It'll be Landis Bellamy, the 5'9 senior, and Coach
Shoot, and you know
of Kentucky. Stanton kicks it over now to Price. Price to Jones. Jones turns, ball knocked away. Good steal there by JTown. Bellamy with the quick hands. Leads out to Cunningham. Cunningham baseline. Tries to throw it back out, but tipped away and tracked down by Washington, and he puts it up and in.
What a move by Washington. It's good time out there. Washington's left-handed. He actually went up off his right foot and was able to finish. He got a little contact in the air, but you can see why Fern Creek is ranked.
Hey, Coach, you can see JTown having trouble getting to their offense right now. Bellamy had the walk, as you said. He did have one good look at a three. He couldn't get that to go. But the thing you're seeing about Fern Creek, as soon as they get the offensive basketball, they're really running out in transition.
Yeah, and Fern Creek's able to run because right now they're having to get, JTown's having to get the ball out of the net. So Fern Creek's able to run because they're getting all the missed shots and they're pushing on misses. JTown's going to settle down here and hit a couple shots. It'll change the momentum. But right now, Fern Creek's pressing every time. They're aggressive in their matchup. They're trying to funnel everything to a big boy down there, Yusuf, number 44.
Washington has 4. Jones has a couple, and Stanton has a bucket. And let's see if JTown can get the offense going here. As you see, full court press being employed by Fern Creek. 8-0, the early lead here for the Tigers of Fern Creek and Coach Schooler. Bounce in the middle. It goes to Cunningham. Kicks it on the right side, free throw line extended to Bellamy. He comes over now to Davis. Back out to Davis. He lines up the three, in and out. And nice rebound there by Price. Ahmad Price wanting to push it. Price kicks it in the corner, wide open, and the shot is taken and knocked down there Nicely done by Stanton. Well, Stanton's got 5 points already.
He's really stepped up scoring, and you can see this press is a little bit more like just slow you down press. Trying to speed you up, make you pass it more than you want to. JTown's doing a good job getting the high post. They got to knock some of these outside shots down.
Stanton's got 5. He's got his average already, Coach DeForest.
He's had good looks every possession. Fern Creek's just playing out of their mind right now.
Three-pointer back of the rim won't go for Cunningham. Tracking it down, though, is Tinker, Caven Tinker. Out top of Davis. Right, and a rejection there by Youssef.
Yeah, you know, he's 6'7". You know, you'd want one of your guards to throw a pump fake on that one. I think I think he was just trying to get it up before he timed it perfectly, though. But look at the size right now, Fern Creek. Just look how much bigger they are.
And they've here's a shot off glass, won't go. We got another substitution in there for JTown. Foster, I believe it is.
No, that's a good rebound by Youssef. He's got to chin the basketball. You know, he brought it down where the guard is able to knock it loose, and then he fouled out of frustration. And I think if you're a Fern Creek fan, you don't want him getting in foul trouble.
But Quazera took your coaching tip there, because remember, he got the other shot blocked by Amir Youssef, but that time he drew the foul. He knocks down the free throw, and he gets JTown on the board, 11-1.
Yeah, he got an angle on the big fella, and that's what you're going to have to do. You're not going to be able to go up over him, obviously. And, you know, like I said, if you're a Fern Creek fan, you don't want him picking up early fouls on turnovers like that. Now here you see JTown able to turn their press on after scoring a little bit.
Price gets it to Washington. Come over now to Stanton, who's had a great start to this game. 5 points already. Hit a 3 out of the right side. Stanton out top. He's working there on Davis. Trying to go to the basket, but knocked out to Washington. Washington loses the handle on it to go into the bench. It will go to JTown.
Yeah, and you see the attack the Fern Creek's taking right now. They're trying to go high-low, which I don't blame them. You know, they have obviously the size. They keep trying to get in the high post. And they're going to look for the high post, the low post pass against the zone, and they're doing a great job of it now. It's just a quick pass there. Washington dribbled out of bounds.
Davis plays catch with Quazera. Quazera has the 2 free throws. He goes baseline. Quazera hangs on Youssef and does it. Took another cue from you, Coach. Second foul on Youssef now.
Well, you know what? You kind of learned during the game that if that first one he got tomahawked out of there to pump fake, and players picked that up, you know, and he was able to pump fake, draw the second foul, you know, 4 minutes into the game on sort of their huge backline defender Youssef there. You know, if you're a Fern Creek fan, you want him just to stand there, put your hands up, make him score over you. Don't slap down.
And into the game for JTown will be Dakota White. Going out will be Davis. Going out Youssef for those 2 fouls. And coming in, Clint Wycliffe, the 6'3" sophomore for Fern Creek for Youssef. So Quazera with the second free throw rolls in. A nice soft touch, Coach. Quazera 3 of 4 at the line. That 11-0 lead with the 3 free throws by Quazera has been cut to 8. Fern Creek's Stanton goes into Washington. Might have got away with the travel there. Kicks it back to Stanton. He goes now to Jones. Jones, headband and all, dumps it down low. Wycliffe lays it up and in. Great job by Jones. Great recognition, Coach.
Yeah, they're attacking the high post. Getting the ball at the high post, going straight down to the low post. Really simple basketball 101. Nice play by Fern Creek.
Bellamy, they need to get him on track. He averages 15 points. He can shoot the 3. Missed his first attempt. He hands it off now to White. Back over to Bellamy. Moves in. Left-hand free throw line jumper. Got it. That's what he does so well, Coach.
Hey, that was a nice move, able to create space with some might call the form shiver there, but he was able to pull up and score over
I like that form shiver. Stanton and rolls in there. Nice soft touch by Kobe. By the way, have we said that he's got 7 points already? He's got more than he averages all season here in the first 6 minutes of the ball game.
Well, that's what we talked about. Both teams know each other so well.
Down low they go now, and here's hanging, blocked away by Jones on the hang there by Quazera. Trying to get it back to Quazera, coming out of there with it, Price. Side court, takes it back toward the middle, jumps up a 15-footer. Nice rolls out of there. Took the world tour and then came out of there. Down the lane, there's going to be whistling a foul call, but I do like the fact that JTown's taking it right at Fern Creek right now. They're saying, hey, we know you're up 15-5. We don't care. We're going to take it right at you.
Well, they have to, and they have to be the aggressor. And you're going to see this in both teams have great athletes. And I think we talked about this before, Gary. On one side, if you miss a layup on one end, you'll see how many times it's turned into transition points or a foul on the other end. In a game like this, you have to finish those layups, because if you don't, the other team's fast breaking the other way.
DeJuan Goodman just checked into the game, and the big fella too is Winston O-W-E-S in there for JTown. Didn't have him on our roster. Goes out top. They try to kick it back out front now. And with the basketball is Fern Creek. Washington hands it off to Stanton to kick it over to Wycliffe. Wycliffe to Jones. Jones left side spinning. On down low they go. Wycliffe shot knocked away, and they're coming out of there with a great hustle there by O's. He's got the basketball. Right side. Back out top now. They swing it to Cunningham. 15-6 is the score, Coach. A minute 35 in the first. Fast-paced action here, as we would expect here at Fern Creek.
It's an exciting game, and I saw O's in warm-ups. Very athletic player. Interested to see how he's able to impact the game.
Bellamy's three won't go, but hustling after it is Cunningham. Gets it back. Cunningham to the basket, slicing, dicing, missing it. Rebounded by Jones. Gets it out now to Price. Ahmad Price in the corner. Here's Washington. Yes.
I don't know if I mentioned that, but if you miss a layup, you have to get back. And that's, if you miss a layup on one end, you got to get back and match up the transition.
Washington has 7 to join Stanton with 7 for the ball club from right here at Fern Creek. They're on top 18-6. 50 seconds to go. First quarter action. Bellamy faking. Now they give it up to White. He comes over to Goodman. He lines it up off the iron, no, and rebounded there. Long rebound by Clint Wycliffe. I've been impressed with Wycliffe since he come in there for Fern Creek. He's done a nice job. Price crossover down the lane, kicks it out. Washington lines up another three, got it again. Second three for Washington. He's got 10 points now, and it's 21-6. Fern Creek on top of JTown here on the Great American Rivalry Series. To the basket, Cunningham, and finish. That's the way to finish.
What a drive. You got to pick him up.
Absolutely. Price has it. That was with some authority. Price in the lane. Fade away, no, and what a fury for the Fern Creek Tigers in the first quarter. They put up 21 points. They lead JTown 21-8. But, Coach, a little bit of spark there by JTown late in that first quarter.
Well, let's see if they can build off that last play. What a tremendous drive, and they got to keep attacking the basket. Nobody really rotated over to help, and that's what you expect in a zone. On the other end, they're going to have to find Tony Washington. He's a left-handed shooter. I haven't seen too many lefties that can't shoot, and he's got a rhythm right now. And a look after the quarter, he's just looking at the coach like, "Hey, give me the ball. I'm ready to go." So they better find him if you're JTown.
And Bellamy has to get going from the outside for JTown. He's their leading scorer. He was held to one basket. He did have a couple looks at threes in that first quarter, but he's got to start knocking them down, much like did his counterpart Tony Washington, who hit 2 big threes there late in the first period for Fern Creek.
And it's tough to match up with Fern Creek right now. They're hitting the threes. They're also able to go inside out, and they've been going inside in the paint. And JTown on the other end hasn't been able to be as aggressive as you want, because they're getting pressed every time that JTown scored, and JTown's got 21 already, so they're able to keep the pressure. And right now the pace and everything is being dictated by Fern Creek, but that last basket by JTown maybe turned something around for me.
One thing I do like, even though they fell behind, I like the coaching philosophy of Coach Coleman at JTown to get a lot of guys in the game, to get them in the flow of the game and keep them fresh. And as you mentioned, he's already played about 10 deep here in this game. And William Brown has just checked in. First time we've seen Mr. Brown for JTown. How about that?
Yeah, I want to see what O's is able to do. Number 32 for JTown this quarter.
Kick it over in the corner. They give it up to Brown. Back out top, White. Bounce pass it to O's. O's spinning. He's a good ball handler for his size, Coach. Big number 32.
He's talented. I saw him in warm-ups.
And he puts that one up right on cue.
Yeah. Appreciate that, O's, but he's a talented player, and I expect him to try to do some things for him offensively.
Lead is 11 for Fern Creek. That's Washington. He had 10 points in the first quarter. Hands it up deep in the corner. Here's a jumper, 10-footer. Won't go there for Fern Creek. into front court. Now they give it up to Goodman, and that's going to be a travel there, Coach.
Yeah, you know, when you hit a kid, he drove and kicked to you in the corner, you don't really want to drive baseline because you're running into your own teammate, and that's what happened there.
Tony Rogers is checked in for Fern Creek. TJ Owens is checked in as well for the Tigers of Fern Creek. They lead 21-10, Coach. 7:01 to go here. Both teams have played pretty much everybody that's dressed tonight. That's remarkable.
Yeah, both teams are being aggressive, and as hard as these teams play, there's no, you know, a 10, 11-point lead is not safe. So, and I think both teams know that. They're still feeling each other out. But JTown's a lot more aggressive now here in the second quarter.
I'll tell you what, this young man, 22, has a stroke. He's got 12 points already. Tony Washington, he has got a nice stroke, 23-10. Fern Creek, 6:56 to go. Bounce pass in the corner to Goodman. Swing it outside now. And now they hand it off. And JTown, they give it up over to Goodman. Swing it in the corner, go back deep in the corner. Nice Cunningham shot won't go. There's O's battling, and he powers it up and draws the foul.
What a take, what a rebound by O's, and that's what you want. They're getting second shots. I think the shot was a little bit rushed there in the corner, but now they're getting second shots against the zone, and I think a lot of that has to do with Yusuf getting the second foul, being out in the second quarter.
Doesn't O's, is it me, or does O's play much bigger than he is?
He's pretty big, Coach.
Yeah,
he does. In his athleticism, I saw him in warm-ups. He just looked like a different player, and you know, he's really stepped up for him here, which is what we talked about at the start. It's going to have to be the other guys because both these teams know each other so well.
Second free throw, got it. 23-11, so Fern Creek up by 12, 6:35 to go here in the first half on the Great American Rivalry Series. Gary Ball with Coach Lee DeForest, William Warfield here. Basketball at its best. Here's a hook shot, nicely done by Wycliffe. Clint Wycliffe, sophomore. Nice hook shot. 25-11. Brown's got it, goes now to O's, and he fakes, spins, might have traveled, no call, put it up short, but flying through, and it's going to be knocked out. Great job there hustling after that by Jonathan Cunningham.
Yeah, he's going up, and that's what you want your players to do. They got to fight and scrap for everything they're getting right now. And on the other end, you can't let a guy catch with 2 feet in the paint. I don't care if he's a sophomore or what. That's too easy. Jump hook, and they got to do a better job on that.
Goodman falls to the floor, and they're going to say last touch by Fern Creek. Give it back to JTown, and back in is Jalen Davis and Darius Martin. First time we've seen Martin. Like I said, both teams going very deep into their benches.
They are. They're both looking at combinations at work, and they both realize second half they want to make sure their main players are ready, make sure their best players are ready. As you see, Fern Creek took out Washington here for a minute to get a rest. 5:59 here in the first half, 25-11. Fern Creek on top of JTown. JTown trying to get back in this thing. Davis, a long three, off the iron, no, and tapped around, and they're going to say last touch by Martin of JTown. Great American Rivalry Series here tonight at Fern Creek in Louisville, Kentucky. High school basketball. Gary Ball, Lee DeForest, William Warfield, our producer. 5:42. Coach, if you're JTown here, how do you get back in this game? Well, you got to get stops. They went man-to-man. They were in zone to start the game, and exactly like that. You got to get stops, and then you got to turn it around on the other end into points.
O's trying to go move it in. Now kicks it back out to Cunningham. Cunningham over to Davis. Swing it to Brown. Cunningham had an open shot, but now skips it over cross court to Brown. Back to Cunningham. He dumps it back out top. Davis to the basket. That one off, and it's going to be over the back called on O's. He went over the back of the Tigers, over the back of Tony Rogers.
And real quick, one thing, for basketball fans, in a zone, the defense gets to pick the parts of the floor they defend in the zone, but you as a coach get to pick the matchups. So it's interesting why, as a Fern Creek is doing a good job in their zone, but JTown probably be best served. Try to get some of their guards to the corners so they'll force the big players out to try to defend them so they can get some more drives to the basket. They're keeping the ball up top a little bit too long.
Quizera back into the game for JTown. Working it across the line. Fern Creek. Out top it goes to Price. Trying to go in the corner to Wycliffe. Knocked away. Good steal there by O's. O's to the basket. Throws it up. No. Draws another foul.
Nice steal by O's. Just anytime in a basketball game you see a steal, you like to see the players pass ahead on the steal, but he was able to create contact and get to the basket with the inside out. And if you're a JTown fan, you're doing a better job in the second quarter stopping Fern Creek from scoring so easily, but you've got to convert down here on this end, and they keep attacking the basket. They're getting free throws now, so they're able to cut into the lead with the clock stopped, but key to that is you have to make your free throws.
That one was missed by O's with 4:38 to go here in the first half. It's been all Fern Creek. We told you in the pregame how good this Fern Creek team was as far as their strength of schedule. They play one of the toughest schedules in the state. 25-12. 4:35 here in the first half. Working across is Kobe Stanton. He was on fire to start this game.
Nice.
Dump it down low, and they're going to say it went off of JTown, give it back to Fern Creek.
Yeah, JTown's got to do a little better job keeping him out of the paint. It's a nice pass he made, just got fumbled, but you got to keep Fern Creek out of the paint. It's easier said than done.
See what they're trying to do here. Kyrie Hawkins will trigger it in bounds. Looking for cutters, lobs it way out top to Stanton. Stanton had, 7 of the first points that Fern Creek scored in this game. I think 7 of the first 10 points. Stanton to the basket, cut off. To the basket, and laid up and in by Rogers.
What a strong drive. I mean, he just inside out, faked it off the screen, rejected the ball screen, and went straight to the basket with the finish.
Lead is 15 for Fern Creek. And we're going to get a timeout called by JTown. Timeout on the floor, 3:56 in the first half. Fern Creek 27, JTown 12 here on the Great American Rivalry Series. And we'll return here to Fern Creek after this timeout.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Gary Ball lead the force, and William Warfield back here. Great American Rivalry Series, Fern Creek and JTown. JTown's Bellamy's back in the ball game. He'll trigger it right in front of us here at the scores table. 27-12, Coach. It's been all Fern Creek.
Yeah, they've done a great job. They showed man for a minute, but they're going back into their zone. It's been successful for them. And look how many different players Fern Creek's playing. They're playing a lot of different players, getting a lot of experience. They have a lot of depth, and that's why they're number 20 in the state.
Davis into the paint, throws it up short, battling for it down low, and that was Tinker who couldn't come up with it. Long pass, it goes to Hawkins, and he lays it up and in, and he's fouled.
Yeah,
Kyrie Hawkins.
tough turnover down here, but, you know, you can't do that against Fern Creek. They know exactly what to do with it, straight to the rim, so quick in transition, really make you pay for any little mistakes you make ball handling-wise. That turnover in about a second is 2 points plus 1.
And that'll send Hawkins to the line to try to complete the three-point play the old-fashioned way, and he rolls it in there. 30-12. I believe this 18-point lead represents the largest lead Fern Creek has owned tonight. Am I not right about that?
Yeah, it's the largest lead. We're interested to see with this lineup how JTown's going to score. You know, they took out a couple of their guys. Interested to see where the points come from.
Jalen Davis back out to Bellamy. Here's an NBA three, bullseye. That's 5 for Bellamy. And 30-15, he cuts that lead down to 15.
That's one way to cut a lead. Got to find him. Scouting report on him is he's one of the best shooters on the team. You know, Fern Creek's going to talk about that at halftime.
Knocked down on the right side, a three-pointer, and knocked down by Rogers. .245, and that's Davis, coach.
Yeah, and you see again, JTown's attack, never getting below the free throw line extended. Tough to get it inside if you don't get the ball down near the baseline. Not just to do it just for baseline's sake, but you want to make the zone guard with all 5 guys. Right now, the zone is they're basically the 2 guards in the zone are defending 3 players out front.
And Bellamy had another good look at a three on that possession, but it didn't go down for him. But they get it over to Davis. Davis partially blocked, and the man that triggered inbounds hustles after, but coming out there with it, Fern Creek. That's Ahmad Price with the lead out and blocked the other way. Great rejection there. And I tell you what, getting up off the floor was Cunningham.
You know, almost better than the pass was the almost finish you had left in transition, but even better than that was the block.
33-15, 2:24 to go before halftime. Fern Creek has owned this game so far. Washington, who's got 12 points. Washington gives it in the middle to Rogers. 2:15 to go, and Fern Creek being very deliberate here on this. Well, I'll say that. Rogers takes it strong to the basket and puts it up and in. 7 for Tony Rogers. Lead is 20 now.
What do? They just hit a 3 possession before that. Now they went all the way to the basket. They've got all the tools right now to score, and then they're locking you up with the zone.
Down low, and there's Bellamy with a nice cut to the basket.
You get the ball to the baseline the first time, and they kind of lose track, able to score behind.
That was a great cut by Bellamy to the basket. Laid up over the big fella, too. That's Ahmad Price. And that's going to be a 5-second. Great defense there employed by Kevon Tinker.
That's a great effort. It's going to take a couple more of those plays and a couple more scores by JTown to cut into this lead and put some game pressure on Fern Creek.
You would think if they could get it down to maybe 12, 14 points before halftime, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Out top, Tinker. Over to Davis. Davis lost the handle on it, goes back and tracks it down. Cunningham looking for cutters. In the middle, here's a 10-footer. Back of the rim, won't go there for Davis. Outlet pass going to Kobe Stanton. And he kicks it into the basket. Off glass, good by Price.
What a
basket
drive
by Price.
What a drive.
Lead back to 20, 37-17. Bellamy got 7. In the middle it goes. Saved there by Davis. Hook shot won't go there for Tinker. Gets it back, rolls up, no, and good hustle there by Cunningham, but he couldn't get it to go. And then the foul's going to be called, and it's going to go on the big 6'7" Daquan Jones.
You know, and looking at JTown, they're fighting and scrapping. They got to try to finish some of those, and I'm just thinking about Fern Creek. What an advantage it is. They've got 2 of the fastest players on the court up in their 2-3 zone, so they're able to be active and defend. But then they've already got you 15 foot, you know, from the baseline. They've already got a step on you. They're 15 feet. So as soon as you miss, they rebound. They're out like a rocket to the other end scoring.
Free throw won't go for Quizera. He was 3 of 4 prior to that miss. Remember, he made 3 early in the game at the line. 37-17, Coach. 20-point lead for Fern Creek, the state's number 20 ranked team.
And they're playing like it. They're really capitalizing on any mistake or missed shot by JTown. And JTown so far has been unable to put down a defensive run.
Both free throws miss. Rebounded by big Wycliffe. 38 seconds. Let's see what Fern Creek does here. Stanton, and he's going to be bumped a little bit too much. Foul's going to be called on Tinker. That's only the 4th team foul against JTown. We'll get a timeout on the floor. 32.9 seconds. And Fern Creek leading JTown here on the Great American Rivalry Series 37-17. Leading the way right now for Fern Creek. Tony Washington with a dozen. And we will be back here on the Great American Rivalry Series. Fern Creek and JTown. The battle from Louisville after this.
Whew, you have to be crazy to go outside in this heat, like Harry. I saw him leaving this morning with that new water thing of his. It's like a snowmobile that floats. Doesn't he worry about being swept out to sea? Or sharks? You're gonna eat that thing all over yourself.
Some people want more out of life, and we insure the things that make more possible. Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com.
Whew, you have to be crazy.
Fern Creek leads by 20, 37-17 over JTown with 28 seconds here. And that's Ahmad Price. Kicks it over to Kobe Stanton. Back to Price. Down low to Wycliffe. Wycliffe. Pass goes through the hand of Stanton. Dribbles in. Stanton blocked away there. Coming out of there with it. They lead it out to Bellamy. And he's trying to track it down but ran out of room there. You know what he could have done is maybe tried to grab the ball, leap up in there, and get a timeout maybe?
Yeah, I think they got rid of that a couple years ago. Where you
he can still try to do it.
Yeah, he can try to do it. But, you know, you get a good stop there in a block. You got to finish on the other end.
Long pass goes deep in the corner into the basket, and nice shot there by Rogers. That's 9 for Tony Rogers. And long shot off the board, won't go there for Bellamy. We head to the locker rooms, and it's been all Fern Creek. The Tigers 39, Chargers of JTown 17 here, and we'll return here to halftime on the Great American Rivalry Series.
Easy to go outside in this heat, like Harry. I saw him leaving this morning with that new water thing of his. It's like a snowmobile that floats. Doesn't he worry about being swept out to sea? Or sharks? You're gonna eat that thing all over yourself.
Some people want more out of life, and we insure the things that make more possible. Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
We're back here at halftime. We're the 20th ranked team in the state. Fern Creek leads JTown 39-17. Gary Ball, I'm joined now by Sergeant McClin from the Marines. Thank you for joining us, Sergeant.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So we're in your commission and everything. Where have you been based so far? Where you out of?
North Carolina mostly. I spent about 4 years in North Carolina.
What about, you served anywhere else?
Probably a total of 12 months in Afghanistan.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much it. Other than that, here in Louisville.
Sergeant, there's a lot of similarities between what you do with the Marines and sports. Talk about that, the discipline it takes to do both those things.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly why we like coming out to these events. You know, all the athletes and Marines have a lot in common. We're all a part of a team. They're a part of a team. We all, fight to win. It takes, discipline to work together as a team. So that's why we like coming out to these events.
You know, you look at high school sports, and these young men are learning to be young men, okay?
Yes,
So as a Marine yourself, what do you talk about when you talk to the high school kids that maybe are thinking about the Marines?
Well, a number of things. This is the best decision I ever made in my life. There's a lot of things that come along with it. The discipline and kind of structure that you get, it lasts a lifetime. The financial security and just the pride of being a part of something like this and serving your country, it's something else.
Sergeant McClellan, when you look at high school sports and think back of your high school days, were those some of the fondest memories you had as a young man growing up?
Absolutely. I was on a soccer team back in high school, and a lot of my friends looked into the armed services and stuff like that, and it was a big influence, coaches and teachers and just the team aspect and stuff.
Well, we can't thank you enough for the service you do to this country, the greatest country on the planet, of course, United States of America. I know that's something you wake up every day knowing that what a task it is to defend this great country.
Well, thanks again for having me, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sergeant McClellan with the Marines. Of course, thanks to those folks and all the great job they do serving these United States of America. We'll come back and take a look at the first half numbers here. It's the Great American Rivalry Series, thanks to the Marines. And also we'll come back with more here as Fern Creek and JTown battle here in high school basketball.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Whew, you have to be crazy to go outside in this heat, like Harry. I saw him leaving this morning with that new water thing of his. It's like a snowmobile that floats. Doesn't he worry about being swept out to sea? Or sharks? You're gonna eat that thing all over yourself.
Some people want more out of life, and we insure the things that make more possible. Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com.
Whew, you have
And we're back here at the Fern Creek where they lead 39-17. And William Warfield, our crack producer, along with Aaron Rose and the folks at Great American Rivalry. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights here. And, of course, a lot of them were Fern Creek because they lead 39-17. Welcome back here to Fern Creek, 39-17 here. We're just about set for the second half of action. Gary Ball with Coach Lee DeForest, William Warfield producing here. Great American Rivalry Series basketball. Don't forget Thursday night, for all you folks watching in Lexington or Central Kentucky, Thursday night we will be at Dunbar. It'll be the number 1 ranked team in the state, the Dunbar Bulldogs, hosting the number 19 team in the state, Lexington Catholic. That should be a great battle. 8 o'clock is the tip at the Dog Pound, they call it over there at Paul Lawrence Dunbar Thursday night. Looking forward to calling that one with you Thursday night, Coach.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Two teams we've already seen play have a little bit of feel, but they have a feel for each other. It's going to be a great game, just as this one is part of the Great American Rivalry Series.
Now let's look for JTown to battle back here in the second half. I think there's a lot of fight in this Coach Coleman JTown team, and they will start the same 5 that started. It'll be Landis Bellamy, Jalen Davis, Jim Quizera, Jonathan Cunningham, and Kevon Tinker will start the second half. Be the same 5 for Fern Creek. It'll be Tony Washington, Ahmad Price, Daquan Jones, Kobe Stanton, and Amir Youssef, the big guy. Youssef got those 2 fouls early and had to sit out most of the first half.
He was responsible for a big part of that early lead as well. So, you know, if you're a JTown fan, you got to come out in the next 2 minutes. You have to make a run starting now.
That's Stanton with a basketball. He's working there on Davis. Toward the middle, kicks it out of there. Kicked that nice pass with his knee there, wasn't it, Coach? To the basket, off glass, rolls off on the shot by Washington. Tony had 12 points in the first half, and we really like the stroke of this Tony Washington.
He's a nice player, smart player. You know how well he shot the ball in the first half, and he gets the basketball the first possession of the second. Pump fakes, gets 2 defenders off their feet, and is able to create the foul.
Tinker was whistled for that foul, and nice stroke there by Washington. He's 3 of 3 at the line, 13 points, and Coach, he's going to have his average if he knocks down this free throw, and we still got 7:47. We still got a whole second half to play.
And I expect more of the same, 3-quarter court pressure, dropping back into their zone.
Washington with 14 points now as he knocks it down. He is silky smooth at that line, isn't he? 4
He's
for
just
4.
got such a good touch, Coach.
Davis now comes back out top to Bellamy. Into the basket and losing control of it is Cunningham, but hustle after it there was Tinker. Good job by Tinker. Davis bounces in the corner. They try to go to Bellamy, and it's stolen away. Coming out there with it, Ahmad Price. Price wanting to push it. He's going to be bumped there, and the foul's going to be on Davis.
And you see Youssef's presence already. You know, just him standing there with his hands up instead of slapping down the first possession, forced JTown out, and then the catch in the middle was trying to catch, but he was trying to catch and pump fake because of the presence of Youssef in the middle.
JTown's in jeopardy of getting blown out here. They're down 41-17, 7:15 to go here in the third quarter. That's Kobe Stanton. He had 7 points early, Coach, in about the first 5 minutes of the game. Well above his average.
Hey, this team is deep. They played about 12 players first half, and you have everybody stepping up for them. They're just moving the basketball. They're going to get whatever they want. They understand they have the lead.
Trying to go to big Daquan Jones. Ball knocked away. If you're wondering about size, Daquan, who has that headband on, he is 6'7". Amir Youssef, the other big guy, 6'8".
Just look at the size. Just such a different team. They're just so big and talented.
Jones runs over top of the JTown player, and I think that was Tinker there to take it. It was Kevon Tinker there to take the charge.
And that's what they need. They need a score. They need a stop, but they need a score if they're going to cut into this lead at all. But it's really difficult against the pressure Fern Creek is able to bring with the size they have in the back line of their zone.
Quizera just looked for Bellamy to try to get some more open shots this half, as he was our leading scorer with 7 in the first half. 41-17. Great American Rivalry Series here at Fern Creek in Louisville. JTown, big 24th District battle. Bellamy fakes to the basket, put it up and in.
And that's what you have to do. Like you said, 6'8". You got to get him off his feet. You're not going to score over him.
That's a great move there by Bellamy, that up and under type of move. He has 9 points. And to the basket is Stanton. Ball back tap from behind. Picked up by the big fella, and he banks it home there, Youssef. 43-19. That's what you call stick-to-itiveness right there.
Fern Creek's a machine right now. I think they've scored or got fouled on every possession this half. And if you're a JTown fan, that's bad news. You've got to get some stops if you want to cut into this lead.
Kick it out to Bellamy. They swing it around the perimeter. JTown deep in the baseline now with it. That's Jalen Davis. He goes to Bellamy. Bellamy into the lane. Bellamy looking, spinning like a top. Now skips it deep in the corner. Thinking about the shot over there was Cunningham, but he kicks it back to his teammate now. To the basket, Cunningham knocked away. Coming out of there with it is Washington. Washington dumps it back, and a two-handed dunk by the big fella trailing, Daquan Jones.
What a setup by Washington with the steal. Also able to go to the basket and has the court vision to find him for the dunk.
Well, he's pretty hard to miss. He's 6'7". He's got the big headband on.
Trailing the play.
45-19. Big lead for the state's 20th ranked team, Fern Creek. I tell you what, after seeing them in person, I'm impressed. Shot won't go there for Davis. And let's see, good hustle there, though, by JTown. They call travel. Timeout on the floor, 5 minutes to go in the third. It is all Fern Creek. The Tigers 45, the Chargers of JTown 19 here, the Great American Rivalry Series. And we will step out here on the Great American Rivalry Series, 45-19, Fern Creek on top.
To be crazy to go outside in this heat, like Harry. I saw him leaving this morning with that new water thing of his. It's like a snowmobile that floats. Doesn't he worry about being swept out to sea? Or sharks? You're gonna eat that thing all over yourself.
Some people want more out of life, and we insure the things that make more possible. Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com.
We're back here with the Great American Rivalry Series presented by the United States Marines and presented by Safeco. Gary Ball with Coach Lee DeForest. And Coach, second half, a lot more Fern Creek. I tell you what, they go deep, and this Washington young man can flat play, and Daquan Jones had the two-handed dunk. They're a very athletic team.
You know, they are what we thought they are, the number 20 team at home in a district game. They've scouted the other team, and they're just been able to control the game from start to finish with their not only scoring but their defense as well.
You know, they remind me a lot of those Hoptown teams we've seen at the state tournament over the years. To the basket, hop, skip, and a jump, and he lays it up and in. I tell you, little European step there by Cunningham makes it 45-21.
Yeah, you see that a lot now in high school. Back in the day, I think when we played, that was going to be an automatic travel when you picked up and did that. But now a lot of players have adapted that into their game. Charge on Stanton. Second time Tinker's taking a charge tonight, and Tinker's got the wide body there. He's put together very well for JTown. And I tell you what, he really gets that position planted underneath that basket. That's second time tonight he's taking a charge. That's good defensive rotation. Now they've got to get, you can see Fern Creek picking up the pressure here. Got to get some more scores if you're a JTown fan. Davis into the paint, runs into the big fella Youssef. Whistle foul called, and if they call that on Amir Youssef, or do they call it? No, they called it on Stanton, I believe. That's his second. Darian Childers set to check in. And looks like Deshaun Walker checked in for JTown. Free throw knocked down there by Davis. Davis normally a good scorer, and Coach, I show him that's his first point tonight. Yeah, they've done, like I said, you know, we talked about it before the game. They're going to know who's good for both teams. They're going to do a good job of trying to shut you down, and they've got to get something. You saw JTown now took a charge, got a score. They're slowly cutting into this lead. If they can get this, 10, 12 points by the fourth, they've got to get stops, though, here on this end. It's going to be all about defensive intensity. Both free throws connected by Davis. In the corner, Wycliffe open for 15, bullseye. Well, Clint Wycliffe, who just checked in under the radar, makes it 47-23. You got guys like that checking in, knocking down jumpers. How about that? You talk about depth, Coach. That's unbelievable. That's a 15-foot baseline pull-up. Not easy. Bellamy's three-pointer won't go. Offensive rebound and clear there. And hustling on the floor, but losing control of it there was Walker. And out of bounds, they're going to say it's going to go to Fern Creek. JTown's battling and scrapping. It's just Fern Creek's so talented. I mean, who do you guard? That 15-footer he made look easy. It's a tough shot. Owens, TJ Owens. He played quite a bit in the first half. Young man with the basketball right there. Owens penetrating, back step into the lane, kicks it to Wycliffe. Wycliffe
comes back to Tony Washington. Good behind the pass. They go down low. Now Wycliffe, wide body, throws it up, and he's fouled. And I think that one's going to go on Davis.
Yeah, that possession, if you're a JTown fan, I think reaching in there late, make him score that. You're in a decent position. He's kind of stepping over you with an up and under. He's going to be shooting that over you. Don't reach in and give him 2 free throws on that one.
Second foul on Davis. Rick Ford in the house tonight, of course, the CEO of the Great American Rivalry Series, the creator, as we venture into basketball. He's been doing football games all over the country for 12 years now. We're doing basketball.
Had so much success with football, now adding basketball to the repertoire. Everything, doing a great job of Great American Rivalry Series, and we're happy to be a part of it.
Big fella Wycliffe is a nice wide body, isn't he?
Man, he's a beast.
Knocks both free throws down. And I like the fact that he knocked down that, like you said, that mid-range jumper there earlier.
Do you remember the jump hook he hit in the first half?
Yeah.
Just showing his touch, showing his versatility.
Here's a pass thrown away. T.J. Owens needs some help. Tries to throw it off a JTown player out of bounds. We're going to get into the game for Fern Creek. Tony Rogers is going to check back in. Going out will be Ahmad Price. 49-23, 26-point spread for Fern Creek. That's Washington. I mean, it's like you lose Anthony Wells to an injury, Hill to a transfer, and you haven't missed a beat if you're Fern Creek. There's Washington. The basket won't go, but whistle, and we're going to have a charge. I'll tell you what, that's the third charge we've seen Mr. Tinker take it there.
He has no fear, always in position, but what a move by Washington. So quick getting to the basket, but at the same time, you want to see his finishes. He can't get so fast out of control where he can't finish. You'd like to see him be able to jump stop, go up for a soft shot. His momentum carried him forward, caused the charge.
Picked up his first foul, goes to the bench, and checking in for him, Kyrie Hawkins. In the maroon, JTown in the white with the orange, the Tigers of Fern Creek. To the basket and throws it up, and somehow Bellamy gets the kind roll. He's got 11 now.
Did he even see the basket on that?
It doesn't matter, does it? Mr. Bellamy.
Nice drive.
Circus shot there. Here's Wycliffe deep out of the corner, and it's off the iron. No, followed up and in. Yes, there. Nicely done by Owens.
What about this Fern Creek team? You have a post player shooting a three and a guard putting the putback.
And a great time there, too. Great timing on that stick back by Owens. Bellamy into the paint. Dumps it back over to his teammate. Three-pointer won't go there for Cunningham. Coach tell him to box out over here to our left, isn't he, Coach?
Yeah, he's getting out there doing some good form on the box outs, too. And players always want to out-jump one another, but in a game like this where athleticism is pretty much equal, you do have to box out. You got to keep them off the boards.
So O's back in. That's your guy right there for, excuse me, for JTown. 2:10 to go, third quarter. It's all Fern Creek, 51-25. Jumper and won't go there for Fern Creek, and as the shot was attempted by Owens.
That was a heck of a move by TJ. That crossover, right to left, the pull-up. As he gets older, more mature in his game, he's going to be able to knock that down with ease.
Dakota White just checked in there for JTown. Dakota White, he's got it on the right side. White pounds it down. A junior. Give it to Cunningham. Shot right side, knocked down over there. Nicely done. And I believe that was White, wasn't it? Yep, we were blocked here from the scores table, but the other way, shot won't go, but a foul call. As Tony Rogers took it strong to the basket. Rogers, remember, had 9 big points in that first half.
Fern Creek is one of the deepest teams I've seen as far as their guard play from 1 through 5 who they've been subbing in. They're all really nice players, really, anybody, even though he's only averaging 7 a game, you can see the talent that he has, able to go in and draw the foul there with a strong drive.
Rogers knocks down the free throw, so Rogers now has double figures. How about that?
That's what you have when you have two teams that know each other so well. They're going to be focused in on stopping the leading scores, but then you have a kid like Rogers able to come in and give you 10 points.
That's the second one, but rebounded there by Kevon Tinker. Right side now, that is Cunningham, and he takes it strong to the basket and draws the foul.
Hey, Clint.
Foul's going to be called on Clint Wycliffe. Minute 28 here. 52-27. Fern Creek by 25 here, but at the line will be Cunningham, and he will shoot 2, Coach, for McQuell Coleman's JTown Chargers.
And both these teams extremely well coached. You saw Wycliffe there, even though he drew the foul, he's stepping in to take the charge. The only thing he needs to probably do a little better if he wants to get the call is he needs to get in the same line as the driver. It sort of looked like he was sliding by, probably why he didn't get the call.
You're right, Coach. Second one rattles in there for Cunningham. Thursday night we'll be at Dunbar in Lexington. Lexington Paul Dunbar. Join us on the Great American Rivalries for that one, 8 o'clock. Into the paint area. Rogers and a whistle. Foul called. Rogers took it strong to the basket. That gets the bench up over here for Fern Creek, just applauding the hustle, taking it strong to the basket, the dribble drive there by Tony Rogers.
I think they've seen him in warm-ups or in practice dunk a couple of those, because you saw he was up in the air. He got hit, but, I mean, look at the athleticism on Fern Creek. I mean, he was up in the rim. He got fouled, but I think if he would have had a clear path there, we'd have seen another dunk in this game.
Hey, Coach, I'm going to agree with you 100%. I think Fern Creek, when you look at who they've lost, Wales is injured right now. He's one of their leading scorers. Trey Hill transferred, so 2 double-digit scores, and they're still about 10 or 12 deep.
And the way that they play, they press, even if it's soft press. I'm sure that they have a more aggressive press in their arsenal, as they're doing now, denying the inbounder. But their pressure and the ability, they can play zone and do it well with their athletes. So if you don't score against their zone, they're running in transition, better than any team I've seen this year.
Good move by Tinker, but a little strong on the shot. And the ball almost knocked away by Brown. William Brown, great hustle. He does knock it away. Brown trying to give it over. Kicked, though, by the Tigers of Fern Creek. Just 59 seconds here in the third quarter. It's been racehorse basketball here in Louisville, Kentucky, the home of the Kentucky Derby, just down the street here at Churchill Downs, right, Coach?
That's right. It's been there once or twice.
William Warfield, our producer. Also Aaron Rowe. Shot won't go there for JTown on the miss, and pulled out there by Fern Creek. Give it over to Rogers, and what they call here, steps.
They called it jump ball.
Okay.
Made contact there with O's right in his chest, and O's doing a good job of playing defense without fouling.
Tell you what, the head coach over here at Fern Creek, he's wearing me out, Coach. He is really into this game. He's up. He's right in front of us, and he is really does a great job.
Well, you tell the players never to play the scoreboard,
yeah.
And the coaches, you can't tell players not to if you're not going to do that as a coach. So both these coaches are working on getting better, obviously, to get ready for their district matchups later on, and both are getting better as a result of this game.
White to Brown. He thought about the 3. Brown moves to the basket, a little scoop, and it's short, but he's fouled. So that'll send William Brown to the line for JTown. 30 seconds here in the third quarter here on the Great American Rivalry Series.
Yeah, they're in the score situation because of the great first quarter that Fern Creek was able to put up. And then since that point, JTown's never really threatened, been able to cut into the lead. And that's just a sign of an experienced, really good team. I mean, because you can't turn over. How do you cut into the lead against Fern Creek? You can't turn them over. Their guard play's too good. And that just presents a big problem because they all shoot it so well also.
2 free throws connected by Brown, his first 2 points of the game. 53-31, 25 seconds here in the third. Here's a jumper knocked down nicely by Price. Ahmad Price, second basket for Price. Makes it 55-31. 15 seconds. O's thought about it. Now they come back to Brown. Brown. Shot won't go there as it's knocked away off the shot attempt by Martin. And they do they get it off in time? No, the shot wouldn't have counted anyway. We head to the final quarter here at the Great American Rivalry Series, sponsored by the United States Marines and Safeco. 55-31 as we head to the final quarter, and we'll return here to fourth quarter action after this timeout.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Back on the Great American Rivalry Series. The Great American Rivalry Series brought to you by the United States Marines. And the Great American Rivalry Series brought to you by Safeco. Gary Ball, Coach lead the force, starting to the fourth quarter. Been a fast-paced game, Coach. It's gone very quickly.
It has. Nice backdoor out of the timeout. All design play at the elbow. Fern Creek is just well coached, and they're like a machine out here right now.
Rogers with a nice pirouette move. Tony Rogers now with 14. 57-31, 7:35 to play. JTown across the line. That's William Brown. He's pounding it down with 7.5 to play. Comes over now to Dakota White. Back out to Jonathan Cunningham. Now back to Brown. They give it to Whitey, angles right side. Cut off. Kicks it in the middle to O's. O's stops and pops. Too short. Battle for it. Coming down with a Cunningham. Throws it up. No. There's O's. No with the follow-up. Gets it back. Powers it. No. But great hustle there by O's of JTown. I love the hustle.
JTown scrapping. They need to get their feet. They need to get their balance. They're a little bit in a rush underneath there. You'd like to see the kids get their balance and go up strong so they're able to finish so close to the basket.
The roster on the KHSA website says Devontae McLeod wears 32, but for JTown, but we're told that's O's, right?
Yeah, and you just see the size of Yusuf in there, putting his hands straight up, making a difference on the defensive end.
Price, and he traveled with it. 6:47 to play. It has been all Fern Creek. I'm a Fern Creek believer. I believe firmly in Fern Creek.
I do too. After seeing this performance tonight, you know it's a home game, but still being able to come out and control the game the way they have from the tip is very impressive.
Coach DeForest and William Warfield and I will be at Dunbar. What a great game that's going to be. That should be a packed house over there at Dunbar because they don't like Catholic very much. Here's the shot won't go there for White. It's a mutual respect thing though. Steal away by Brown. Brown in the middle to O's. O's faking and hooking it up and in, and what are they going to call her? They're going to call a travel.
Yeah, right idea. Just have to execute. Again, Yusuf is making it. Listen, if that kid stays out of foul trouble, he's just such an impact on defense. And him out of the game now, let's see if O's and some of those guys are able to finish inside. It's just interesting to see his impact just by being inside, putting his hands up. And he's not slim. He's a big kid inside.
Yeah, he's very well, as you said, put together. Muscular kid. 57-31, Fern Creek leading JTown. Gary Ball lead the force. William Warfield, Aaron Rose, and Joe Allen. Rick Ford, the CEO, and Coach, 6:15 to play. It's all Fern Creek.
It is. Look at that elbow action again, just trying to create back doors against the pressure. You can hear the coaches yell, take him. They recognize the mismatch, able to get to the rim. Let's see if JTown can turn that turnover into something positive here.
White's got it quickly in the front court. White trying to go in the corner now, trying to set up Davis with a shot, but he threw it behind him a little bit too much, turn it over.
You're watching that, you're like, what a bad play, but people don't recognize once out here on the floor, you see the speed of Fern Creek.
Right.
They make you play faster than you want to play, and that's what's causing the turnover.
And where we're sitting here at the midcourt at the scores table, you can really see the quickness of this Fern Creek team up close and personal.
Oh, yeah, look at Washington. They're just able to create so much on defense and offense with their speed, breaking you down off the dribble.
Rogers with the dunk. He's got 16.
Did we mention their speed?
Yeah, they're pretty quick. And here's going to be a reaching, or did we get a timeout? We got a timeout, I believe. 5:27 to go in the contest. 59-31. Fern Creek leading JTown. And we will step out here on the Great American Rivalry Series. 59-31 Fern Creek.
You have to be crazy to go outside in this heat, like Harry. I saw him leaving this morning with that new water thing of his. It's like a snowmobile that floats. Doesn't he worry about being swept out to sea? Or sharks? You're gonna eat that thing all over yourself.
Some people want more out of life, and we insure the things that make more possible. Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com.
We're back here. We want to take a look at that again, that dunk by Tony Rogers. Let's take a look at that again, Coach.
Yeah, and it's all off ball movement and then just a quick first step explosion to the rim.
JTown has run into a buzzsaw tonight called Fern Creek. 59-31, 5:17 to play. Long, deep three, knocked down by White, Dakota White. Makes it 5 minutes to go to the basket, and laying up and in is Washington. 4:53 to go. Shovel back, picked off, and whistle.
How do you press? How do you trap Washington?
There's not much you can do to this team, like you said, Coach.
I think you have a better chance of not letting him catch the basketball, because if he does catch it, he's going to break you down off the dribble. You know, as a press, if you're trying to take Fern Creek out of what they want to do, which I don't think we've seen a team this year that's going to be very successful doing that. You can't let Tony catch it and then try to trap him after he catches it. He's one of the fastest kids we've seen with the basketball in his hands.
He really is. Very explosive. And listen to this. He's a sophomore. That's the thing about Fern Creek. They've got some really talented underclassmen. Price is a sophomore. Jones is a junior. Wycliffe is a sophomore. 61-34. Fern Creek by 27. Dumped out and knocked away. Great hands there by Fern Creek. Good stick-to-itiveness there by Kayvon Tinker. 4:43. Got the big sign here. It says the creek is rising. It's definitely rising tonight.
And it's going to be that way for a long time. With the
creek's going to be overflowing. It's going to be a reaching foul called, and looks like that one's going to go on Kyrie Hawkins. 4:37. That will be bonus time. That's the 17th foul against Fern Creek.
You know, and I like watching both coaches. These guys are working as hard as they can. You know, they're not playing the scoreboard. You know, this is you ran into a buzzsaw if you're a JTown fan, but you still can get better. And how many times, if you can play against this speed and this competition, it'll make you better as you finish the year.
Price kicks it in the corner now to Thomas, and we're going to have as Thomas took it baseline, and we're going to have a foul called. It's going to go on JTown.
You know, nice baseline drive. Just another kid with speed, puts it on the floor. You know, Fern Creek, how do you play them? Because if you watch them, they have the speed. They get to the rim when they want to, okay? They're athletic. Okay, they have sizing. They have size in the post. And they can shoot, okay? And they dictate what they want you to do with their defense. They press you a little bit at three-quarter court, and then they also play zone. So they dictate a lot of the game. With
that free throw by Thomas, Coach, he becomes the 12th player for Fern Creek that has scored in this basketball game. That's amazing.
When do you see that?
63-34. JTown, that's Dakota White. Lost a handle on it. And White battling for it on the floor. Great hustle between White and Kobe Stanton.
Is this the Great American Rivalry Series?
Yes, it is.
I mean, like I said, the players are what you want. They're not playing to the scoreboard. They're playing every possession as hard as they can, both teams, and that's respect for the game and respect for their opponents.
That's exactly, and their coaches. Put it out there every night. Give these guys, I noticed a couple of them got knee bands on every leg, like right there you see for Fern Creek. That's Washington's got knee, and he's cleaned the floor here tonight with those knee pads. He's been on the floor so much. Crossing over, it's Cunningham. Put it up and in, and he will get the soup and the sandwich.
Strong take. again, these guys are just fighting all the way through, and that's what you expect. We talked about it before the game. They know each other, they respect each other, and both teams are going to play down to the wire as hard as they can. Regardless, just because JTown, they may not have a chance to win the basketball game, they're going to try to win every possession that they can, Gary.
Cunningham now has 8 points, 63-37. 4 minutes to play. Gary Ball, Coach Lee DeForest, William Warfield. To the basket is Price, throws it up and draws the foul. The thing about it, these guys are so quick. When they get to the basket, you're either going to foul them or in some cases, they're going to dunk it over you. So athletic. And Price, who averages 10.6 rebounds, one of the leading rebounders on the team, has had an off night, and his team leads by 26.
and you've seen a couple charges being taken, but most teams are not going to be able to get in front and stop that. I mean, I think, what were they, ranked 20th? I mean,
yeah,
after seeing
the
them in
20.
person, and we've seen Dunbar, we've seen Catholic, we've seen some very nice teams. I think this team's right up there
I
with
do,
them.
too. I think they could play with either one of those teams. I know Dunbar's number one in the state. I think this Fern Creek team could give them all they want. Kick it right side, and that's White. He's going to back it back out. Now they give it to Jalen Davis, 340. Hands it to Cunningham. Tinker to the basket, hook shot, rolls in, a nice soft touch there by. I like this Tinker kid, I really do.
Does a lot of great things for you, doesn't he?
He's taken, 4 charges in this game?
Yep.
Here's a steal, but diving on the floor is Bellamy. Gives it to Tinker. Tinker has it stripped away by Stanton. And we're going to have a whistle foul called, and that's going to go against J-Town's Kevon Tinker.
These kids playing hard, Gary.
Unbelievable. They are diving all over the floor, like I said, Coach, and not playing the scoreboard at all. You got to love it if you're a coach. I know when you are a coach.
I know. I love every moment. This is what you play for. You're not going to win every game. One team at the end of the year wins the championship. What about the rest of these teams? You have to keep playing, getting the most out of your talent that you can.
Called a travel there on Childress.
Yep.
It looked good from here, but he must have drug the pivot foot. 64-39, just 3:11 to play. I think we have a special awards presentation after the game from the United States Marines. 3 minutes to play. That's Bellamy. Bellamy's been out a big portion of the second half. Shot put up and in, laid in by Cunningham. That's 10 for Cunningham, Coach. He joins Bellamy in double figures. 64-41, and nice move by Stanton and lays it up and in.
That's why they're so hard to press.
Yep.
We've got 5 ball handlers out there.
66-41, 2:39 to play. Whistle. Wait and see what they call on that one. Called it on Thomas. It's his first.
And I think he might be being taken out. I think they're going to talk to him. Maybe not. You don't want, no matter who you're playing, you don't want to play behind a post player. I think they're going to tell him to battle in there. And, hard work gets you that foul call. You saw that they called that travel. What's a travel? I don't know what a travel is anymore because you'll see the Euro step. That's okay.
Right.
The spin move, not so much.
Right.
And it's hard to tell these days.
Missed free throw, rebounded by Stan. I think you're right, Coach. It is hard to tell. Owens is back in there. And there's a 3 knocked down out of the corner. Fern Creek, and he's on your deep roster there, Coach? Who was that?
That was 33, Coleman, coming in off the bench.
Goodness gracious. Has everybody played? I don't think the water boy has, but pretty much everybody else.
Well, and the funny thing is, if they've played, it almost seems like they've scored as well.
69-41 on that Coleman trifecta. At the line, J-Town, that free throw rolls out of there for Cunningham. Cunningham's had a nice second half with 8 points. 10 points overall for the senior, 6'2" senior, Jonathan Cunningham, for the Chargers of it's Jeffersontown, but everybody calls it J-Town.
J-Town,
Nobody
sure.
calls it Jeffersontown, at least that knows the school. 69-42, 2:08 to play. That's Owens. Over to Coleman. Back to Thomas, and lost the handle on to give it to J-Town.
It's the right idea. drive and kick, the big help. Just got to be ready to, if you're a big man there, you want to have your hands up on any guard drive, especially inside the paint. Probably should have had his hands up. Again, execution is sometimes a tough thing when your team's up like they are, but Fern Creek has just kept. Look, they're talented. We've seen a lot of talented teams, but they also play well together. I think that's a big separator. You see a lot of times talent that maybe doesn't play well together. Fern Creek's kids play well together. They play basketball.
Brown's going to be fouled on the drive, and it's going to go on Thomas. That's second foul on Thomas, and that will send to the line for JTown. William Brown, he knocks down the free throw. Brown 3 of 3 at the line now, Coach.
He's got a nice shot. It's just you run into Fern Creek tonight, and I think they're playing well tonight. It's not just they're talented, they play well. I think tonight we've really seen their A game.
And the dunk the other way as we're looking to Childress. Darian Childress. So another player got into the game. If they dress 15, all 30 of them have played tonight. And with the ball, JTown. And, Coach, where's our JTown roster? That's 23.
Well, remember when I said have your hands ready if you're a big man? If I could dunk like that, I would have my hands ready.
Tim Purdue. Purdue is number 23 on there. So Purdue in there now for JTown. Chris Trigg is in there as well. Three-pointer in and out. And battle for it for Fern Creek. Whistle, foul called.
Something I guess coaches notice or fans notice. The kids off Fern Creek maybe getting in. It's a little bit of a blow, not a blowout, but they're up 20, comfortable lead. And the kids that are out of the game are cheering the players. Maybe they don't get a lot of playing time. They're cheering them on, encouraging one another, and that's a sign of a really good team. You see Tony Washington over here standing up and clapping for his teammates. And
Tone Wells, and he got them both. So Wells with 2 points. He gets in the newspaper. 73-44, just a minute 18 to go. That's Purdue into the paint area. Hands it back now to Brown. Knocked away, and good steal there coming out of there with it. Tone Wells with a minute to go in this game. Lob down low, but they couldn't finish there for Childress, but they get it back. Out top, they swing at Thomas, and I think they're going to take the foot off the throat. No, I say that, and they go to Childress for a dunk. Lead it out now, and there's a nice move and scoop and score there for Baker, Justin Baker. 40 seconds. Lob and a dunk by Childress brings the house down.
Well, you saw they were trying to set that up on the last play, and they were able to execute it on this play. Nice pass, able to finish above the rim.
Off the glass, it won't go there for Baker. And coming out, there were 19 seconds. I think the coach just wants to call off the dogs now. And Fern Creek, I think, is going to let the clock run out with 11 seconds, and they lead 75-46. Coach, pretty much what we thought it would be.
Yeah, we came in, we had a couple questions about the game. We weren't sure, Fern Creek district matchup with JTown, what was going to happen, but we discovered, first quarter, first 2 minutes, Fern Creek is who we thought they were.
Yeah, we thought they were
dominated.
Good. They're very good. Fern Creek wins it going away, 75-46. Fern Creek improves to 11-6 on the season, and JTown drops to 6-11. And we'll come back here on the Great American Rivalry Series with the postgame. 75-46, Fern Creek over JTown.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud,
Welcome back here to Fern Creek. A nice win tonight, Coach. You jumped out at them early and great balance. And I tell your ball club, the thing about it, you're so hard to guard because you got so many good guards handling the basketball.
Yes, sir. I mean, we do have some very talented guards on the floor, and when our perimeter guys are sharing the ball and moving it, we are deadly attacking. And so we've been preaching that all year.
How about this? Anthony Wells out with an injury. You have another nice player, Hill, transfer. But you don't miss a beat, Coach. What did you tell your ball club, even though two big cogs are no longer scoring for you?
Well, we've been preaching one team, one dream, and we really want to emphasize we have really good players, but we don't want to focus on one guy. Each night, each brother needs to step up for their brother, and on a given night, could be yours, and if not, it'll be another guy.
And your balance is key tonight. I mean, I look at Washington, he had 16. I look at the game Rogers had. Even at the beginning of the ball game, Kobe Stanton had like 7 points early on. You just had terrific balance on your ball club.
Yeah, and if we can continue that, we're going to be a hard team to play with in the postseason. Balance is the key for us because we do have a lot of weapons, and these guys really do love each other, so it's a good thing.
Well, Coach, a big win. It is a big district win, 24th district, so your guys know that, and also a regional opponent. I know you're real happy with the way the team played tonight.
Yes, sir. We've been taking one game at a time, but anytime you're playing a district opponent, you really have to come prepared, and I thought our guys did tonight.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Thanks for winning the game here on the Great American Rivalry Series. Thanks for having us out here.
Thank you for having us. You guys are great.
Thank you, sir. That's Coach Schooler with Fern Creek. They win. And who we got with us here now, sir? I'm sorry. They didn't. Who?
That's our mounts with the Marines.
Okay. They got your headset wrong there. Let me get you turned around here so we can hear you.
Gary, give him these.
Oh, let's use these. Sorry about that.
It's all right. No problem at all.
Sergeant, introduce yourself again because I've got so much going on here. They didn't tell
Sure.
me.
I'm Stats R. Mounts. I'm with the local Marine recruiting effort.
Okay. What'd you think of the game tonight?
Oh, it was a fantastic game. I felt like it was really good.
Fern Creek, they jumped out on JTown. They wouldn't let off on the pedal, would they?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I love JTown. That's one of my schools, and I was hoping that they would take the win, but, these things happen.
Let's talk about how important basketball is. We're up on this camera way up here. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Staff Sergeant. But tell us the similarities you see between the Marines and high school sports.
Here's the biggest thing that I think is it's a big team building experience. It's something that these guys can get into and girls can get into that really helps them to grow and develop, outside of just themselves. I feel like that's a huge part, and it leads them on to bigger and better things later in life.
Well, as you look at the Great American Rivalry Series tonight, and you look at these kids out there working so hard on the floor, those are the type of kids that you look for in the Marines.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. Those guys and girls are exactly what we're looking for.
Well, thank you, Staff Sergeant.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. That's the United States Marines tonight. Thanks to him as well. We'll come back and wrap things up here. It was all Fern Creek as they win it going away 79-46. Welcome back. Fern Creek dominates tonight. Fern Creek, a team that's ranked for a reason, 75-46. Coach DeForest will be right back at it again Thursday night. It will be Lexington Catholic at Dunbar. Two teams we're very familiar with. These two teams, not our first look at them, but they both played just about everybody on their team. And I tell you what, Fern Creek is the real deal. They will make some noise.
Yeah, they are, and just the way that they play, because it's a team that once they get a lead, you really can't turn them over. You have to be able to score with them, because their guard play, as you saw Washington, their guard play is something else. So quick, and not only quick and able to get to the basket, they've got shooters too.
They do. Fern Creek wins it going away 75-46. Thursday night, Lexington Catholic at Dunbar, 8 o'clock. What do you expect in that one, Coach?
I mean, it's going to be – how exciting is that game? You're going to have Darius Williams, Luke Johnson, two of the best scorers in the Lexington area going head-to-head. And
don't forget Mr. Hollingsworth, Tavion.
You got Hollingsworth. I mean, both – just the matchups, both of those – I mean, you got those three players play a lot of different schools, be the best players on the team. So I'm interested to see that, and it's just going to be a great battle. Lexington Catholic has their style that they play, press, matchup zone, and then you have on the other hand Dunbar, who pressure man-to-man that we saw.
Right.
Just two totally different styles, but they still get the job done.
We'll look forward to that. Coach Lee DeForest will join me for the call that one. Thanks to William Moorfield, our excellent producer, Aaron Rose, Mr. Joe Allen, and Mike Cloud, right? Mr. Mike Cloud over there. And, of course, Rick Ford, the CEO and inventor of Great American Rivalry Series. Tonight, basketball here in Louisville, and Louisville Fern Creek over JTown, 75-46. For Coach Lee DeForest, Gary Ball, so long from Fern Creek High School.